In this video, I say decision or indecision probably 100 times, but what I wanted to talk about is the art of making the right decisions within the right time frames. So in a previous business, I talked about businesses growing one of two ways. They either, as they progress and grow, decisions are made, amends are made to the structure and strategy that cause compromise, cause complication, cause inefficiency, and the business altogether just slows down and becomes much, much more difficult to work. Other businesses, every decision that's made is in line with the direction the business is going. It makes it more efficient, more, I was about to say more productive, but pretty much the same thing. Efficient covers the whole block on that. And what I'm seeing and what I'm feeling is worth stressing, because we're seeing it reflect itself in our business, is that clarity with all things is absolutely key. And indecision creates stress, and decisions, when they're coupled with clarity, kill stress. So for us, there's a couple of structural moves that we talked about, and as much as I talk about a long game, and when a decision comes up, I say, look, sit back, weigh it up, run it past everybody in the business, ensure that decision stands up across all 360 degrees of the business, and then move forward with it. Every decision has a window. It might be a day, it might be a week, but decisions have to be made. Some people too frantically make decisions, and I think that's where you get that bad growth. But decisions have to be made that give clarity to the business. And for that, I think there's only a certain window. And as I said, it could be a couple of hours, it could be a couple of days, it could be a couple of weeks. It depends on the circumstance. But not making decisions is something that can be really, really dangerous. And we talked about a new product that we were considering for the business. And we talked about it at one manager's meeting one week, we talked about it the next week. And we talked about it and talked about it and talked about it, and we talked about it to the point that it seemed like it was introduced, but it actually wasn't introduced, and then it was almost sold as a product, although it hasn't been fully integrated into the business, and that's caused stress in the management team, because somebody said, had this been integrated, had it not, and anyway, long story short, it's caused a bit of a shit show. And most people running a business would never share something like that, but hell, I think the whole benefit is in sharing stuff like this. If you're an aspiring entrepreneur and you're watching on and you're building your business, if I don't give any actual real case studies or scenarios, you won't take anything from it. So the lesson for me that I'm really grabbing on is that every decision has its window. And indecision, which comes from not making this decision within a given time frame, indecision can cause absolute chaos. And so not making a decision on one thing can actually create a whole load of problems, not just in that, but in all across the business. And anyway, for us it was easy. Once we identified the issue, it's very easy to get stuck in. It's very easy to see, okay, we need to make this call. This has been made. We're doing this. This is how we're moving forward. But the kind of take home that I'm getting from is that when I'm sitting down with our managers and I'm discussing a kind of a way the business is going to move forward, I'm now saying, that's a really interesting observation. I think the way we may move forward with this is by pursuing this route or pursuing this route. I'm going to take a week to consider this, and next week when we meet, I'm going to raise this and we're going to decide on the way we move forward. Or else, if it's more prompt and somebody hits me with something that needs to be agreed almost instantaneously, like within an hour or something, I say, wow, that's something very, very interesting. Let me gather my thoughts. We'll meet again in half an hour, or within half an hour I'll send you an email. So what I'm doing is I'm putting time frames on any decision. So as I said, before I stress the importance of not finding yourself frantically dealing with issues as they arise, and actually taking a step back and taking time. That's all and good, but that time needs to be constrained. And so putting that time constraint in line with every decision that you have to make. Now, another video I talked about having a to-do list. I am loving Wunderlist for that because I literally have my to-do list. It has this week, this month, and in the near future. And I'm putting certain to-dos into that list with a time constraint on it. So it pops up, it gives me a reminder, and I go, that's a decision I said I'd make that I have to make now. So I'm giving myself the time to make the right decision, and so I'm making the right decisions, but I'm not causing any confusion. I'm not allowing any indecision kick in. Anyway, I think I said the word decision there about 100 times in that video, but I think there's really good value and I hope you take it.